Welcome to the Raymarine weather briefing for the JP Morgan Asset Management 80th Round the Island race. I'm sat here today on the start line at the Royal Yacht Squadron, next to the cannons that are going to be setting you off early on your start on Saturday morning. Over the next few minutes, I'd like to discuss the weather that's going to affect your race, the weather that's coming over the UK over the next few days, the general situation out in the Atlantic, which will give us clues for the weather over the course of the next few days and during Saturday. Currently there is a region of low pressure just to the northeast of the UK, which is moving very slowly towards Scandinavia. A weak occluded front coming down from this low pressure is actually what's giving us the conditions today, the cloudy conditions and the windy, blustery conditions that we're seeing here at Cowes this afternoon. This is actually quite similar to the conditions that you can expect on Saturday during the race day. However, between now and then, there's quite a lot of different weather patterns that are likely to come through the UK. There's a strong ridge of high pressure in the Atlantic extending down from Greenland towards the Azores. As the low pressure moves away today and tonight and tomorrow towards Scandinavia, it allows this ridge of high pressure to build over the southern part of the UK. This allows better conditions for the southern UK for Thursday and particularly Friday, the day before the race. The day before the race is going to feel quite different to race day itself, so don't let this lull you into a false sense of security. The key feature that we're analysing out in the Atlantic at the moment is a developing complex low off Newfoundland. This development is going to occur over the next few days, and the low pressure is going to gradually move its way across the Atlantic towards the northern part of the UK over the next few days. The influence of this will be to compress into the high pressure, which will be over the southern part of the UK, creating a squeeze between the two pressure systems. This will increase the gradient and with it the winds over the southern part of the UK. Therefore, the conditions on race day are going to be quite different to those that you'll see develop on Friday, as the high pressure moves away and this new low develops and takes over as the dominant pressure feature. So let's have a look at the detail for the winds and weather on Saturday. During the early hours of the morning, I would expect the wind to initially be quite light, but quite quickly it's going to increase in speed. The wind direction will be from the southwest, and by the time the first gun goes here at Cowes, I would expect a good southwesterly 15 to 18 knots to be running. The first leg of the race, from the start here at Cowes down towards the Needles, you're with favourable tide, and this is likely to make that leg of the race pass quite quickly. However, it's also likely to increase the sea state. Due to the winds coming from the southwest and the tides pushing you in that direction, we've got wind over tide conditions, and that's likely to make the swell and waves much higher than they would normally be. During the middle part of the day, it's likely that we're going to see the winds increase to 20 knots plus. This will also be exacerbated around exposed headlands, where we'll see an acceleration possibly up to 25 knots. As we round the Needles, it's time for a new sail plan as the wind is coming from the southwest and it's quite a sharp corner, so you're likely to start your spinnaker run. This is going to be quite brisk for your trimmers. It's going to be a long run down to St Catherine's and then a continuation likely to Bembridge Ledge, so lots of spinnaker work around the south side of the island. The winds, as I said, around St Catherine's Point may well get up a little bit, and also this is a turning point of the course, so therefore you get more boats coming together and it can be quite busy. Once round Bembridge Ledge, the final leg of the course is likely to be a beat back into the Solent. You're likely to want to pass into Seaview, but remember to avoid the exclusion zone off Seaview. We'll talk about that more in the race overview. Once past Seaview, heading towards Cowes and the finish line, you're going to be beating up the Ryde Sands. Again, that comes with its own hazards, which we'll talk about in another briefing. The conditions are likely to veer slightly during the end part of the day. The winds will veer by 10 to 15 degrees possibly. So this is something that we're going to look at in tomorrow's briefing and just confirm whether or not it's going to happen. But as you approach the finish line on the last leg of the course, again, you will be beating towards Oldcastle Point. The winds at this point, typically, when it's blowing from the southwest or west, can become quite distorted, disturbed and a bit confused, as does the swell. So this is definitely something to watch as you approach the finish line of the race. So this gives you an overview for the likely weather conditions over the next few days and leading up to the race day on Saturday. Don't forget to register for more information, SMS updates and email updates on raymarine.co.uk. I'll be back tomorrow with another weather briefing, which will give us a little bit more detail as we'll be a bit closer to race day. We'll also look at tides and tactics for each corner of the race.